So we have for the record, Matt Cody, Beals and Thomas.
Thank you.
I'm the peer review engineer on behalf of the board for this project. There's a tree box grate that's pretty severely broken and is, kind of as far as an ADA compliant, that wouldn't be. 4 was relative to just the vegetation on site in general. The park area in the rear of the property was still currently being worked on. So obviously the vegetation surrounding it is still in need of some help as far as just getting established. 6 was relative to the catch basin inlet protection, which has been resolved. All the hoods have been added to the catch basins. There was a handful that hadn't been installed. And the silt sacks have been removed. But we did note, again, while on site Tuesday, that they were working in pretty close proximity to catch basin 8 with, mulch and some different granular materials. And that with the silt sacks removed, it seemed like that, structure had been, compromised is probably too strong of a word, but, it was being inundated with some of that material.
We acknowledge that broken tree box. We've ordered a new grate, and I'll be out there tomorrow. We'll make sure that we secure it in a way that's as safe as possible until that replacement grate arrives. Number 4, this is the stabilization of the vegetation. I think it's new plantings, and I think in that area there's some hydroseeding patching that we had done. Given this recent storm, we probably lost it, so we'll probably likely be hydroseeding that area again. The first part of number 5, which was the river stone, and that is correct. We installed the river stone in bioretention area A. We decided to not install it in the other 2 bioretention areas because, quite frankly, we'd be rolling trucks into those bioretention areas and probably do more harm than good. Those bioretention areas were pretty well established.
The other 2 bioretention areas, are you sure they're not silted up?
Well, the answer to that is I don't know.
If they are silted up, they won't function correctly per the stormwater. And we know that this one definitely was silted up and not functioning correctly. And the other 2 kind of look to be in the same shape as this one. That's the only reason why I'm asking, because if they're silted up, they're not functioning correctly.
It's a reasonable question. I think they've always looked better than A. I think they looked a lot better.
I think they look like there's just a bunch of weeds.
It does look like that, even when it's in good shape.
It's a rhetorical question. I think they're silted up.
This system causes runoff to collect in the parking lot, regardless of the river. In just normal rain events, the parking lot fills up with water. My engineer's plan shows where the water will go every time it rains before it meets the height of the spillway. That has caused the groundwater level of the properties on Holbrook Avenue to increase. It just so happens that the bank's cellar level is lower than the other houses. So they, 2 years ago, got 2 feet of water in their cellar and they can't get it out. This is their only asset. They don't have the ability to go someplace and live. And this is a direct result of the system that doesn't work, the drain that doesn't let the water out of the parking lot. The system takes in approximately 21 cubic feet per second in a 10-year storm. It only lets out 2/3 of the water that comes in gets surcharged up through the system, up through the grates, fills up the parking lot, and sits there and causes the surrounding groundwater to get higher. You can't control the flooding of the river unless the river's dredged, I guess, but certainly ordinary storms should not fill up the parking lot and make it sit there until it evaporates or goes into the ground.
I will reiterate to you what I have had to say to you before, that we have been directed that any matter regarding this between the neighbors and the developers is not the purview of the town. It is the purview of civil court, not the planning board. Okay. So then I'm going to ask for a motion to submit to town council to update the memorandum of agreement addressing only the remaining items in Beals and Thomas's report. Okay, so I will ask a motion and a second to do so.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So moved. 3-0.